back at Eales Preserve. So if you remember from the last hike, I came across a spot that said After 5 Trail, and it said it went down to a lake, and we're going to take Jeans Trail. It's going to take us back to Reservoir, but we're going to take a walk back there. It's like a mile or so, mile and a half. Let's see what we got. A little hole in my exhaust. It sounds horrible. What's going on? It is Saturday, and I am on the edge of a pretty busy road here, back at Eales Preserve. It's sometimes marked as and called the Mizuki Mountain Preserve, so I'm not sure what name it officially goes by anymore, but down here it's marked off as the Mizuki Mountain Preserve. Up top where I was last time, it's the Eales Preserve. So if you remember from the last hike, I came across a spot that said After 5 Trail, and it said it went down to a lake. So that was up behind me here, up this way. I came out on this kind of power line road here, and I turned back up. So I was parked up at the very, very top. So what I did today was park down here at the bottom lot, and we're going to take this Jeans Trail. And it's going to take us back to I gotta look up the name of it. It's not the Elephant Reservoir. It's kind of what my car sounds like. It's not the Elephant Reservoir. It's I'll look it up. I'll figure out what it is. But we're gonna take a walk back there. It's like a mile or so, mile and a half, back to the reservoir or the lake. And I assume it's gonna be a little loud because we're gonna be walking fairly close to this road for most of it. But let's see what we got. This is a gorgeous trail. It's a little more washed out in some spots than I expected it to be, but we have had a lot of rain, so I'm not really too surprised. But look at this stone here. This isn't so much a stone wall as it's just a giant piece of rock that's been exposed. It's cool. See how that tree's bent? Now that could be natural, could have naturally happened like that, but there's also a good possibility that that was done intentionally. The northeast, Pennsylvania, parts of New York State, New Jersey, has a lot of Lenape heritage, and a lot of times on trails they would use trees that actually, kind of like bonsai style, they would actually cultivate the trees to bend like that to indicate as a landmark where a turn and a trail would be. So sometimes it's natural, but sometimes it's actually done on purpose. There we got leaves changing. Goodness. See if I can get you a shot of that. Well, I got water in my hand. It's hard to shoot with a water bottle in one hand. So you can see that right there. That is actually leaves changing. It's just the beginning of August. It's not unheard of. There's a couple more around here. So right there you can see that's starting to change too. And these look like, well, it's a mix of maple. So we got these, I don't know if they're going to come through, but these are maples. You can see the leaves there. These look like, I say aspen. There's a couple walnut trees in here. I don't want to zoom in on my face. Nobody wants to get that close to his face. There's some walnut in here. But we're down lower than the last trip I was out here, where we were in that heath barren, which is really cool. This is another stage of that. We're down off the ridge. There's a little more of a deciduous forest. Oh, here's a good shot of a leaf that's changing. And that, just one leaf. One leaf on this tree. There's a couple trees like that. Good way of thinking about it. Fly wants to be on camera. So this would be prime bear country. All these little shrubs here, all these little plants, are all blueberries and possibly huckleberries. All blueberries and possibly huckleberries. And I know I've gotten blueberry. A few comments in past videos where I talked about blueberries and huckleberries, where I was told, no, there are no huckleberries in Pennsylvania. There are huckleberries in Pennsylvania. Huckleberries and blueberries are, I've seen, this isn't gonna come out. I'll get back to what I'm talking about. There's a spider web down there. That's got all kind of moisture on it. Look pretty cool. Let me bring this back a little closer so you can hear me when I'm talking. So the difference between blueberries and huckleberries. I've seen people say that huckleberries are myth, they don't exist. I've seen people say that huckleberries are a cross between blueberries and strawberries. No, huckleberries and blueberries are very similar to the same plant. They are very closely related cousins, we'll say. Blueberries generally are bigger, and they grow a little easier domesticated. So generally they're a version of the same plant that blueberries can be cultivated. Huckleberries are a little happier growing in the wild and tend to be smaller. So these might actually be huckleberries. The leaves look the same, the fruits look the same. Other than blueberries are huge. So if you come across a blueberry bush and they're just huge berries, look at how washed out what is going on here. Come on, there we go. Auto white exposure did not work. If you see huge blueberries, those are actual blueberries. Very exciting stuff, I know. That's a cool tree. A lot of times people think, I live in town, there's no wildlife near me, there's no chance, that I'm going to run into something out here in the woods. I can hear town, I can I can almost see my house from here. That was coyote poop. And if I walked a straight line from here, maybe 10 minutes from houses. So you always gotta be aware. I don't know if they're gonna come out, but behind me, look at those clouds. Some great clouds today in the sky. Yeah, I mean this area, there's obviously coyotes because I've just saw evidence of them. But I'm really surprised I haven't seen evidence of bears. Being this close to town, bears are opportunistic. Bears are opportunistic. Let's all say that together. Opportunistic. They will, without hesitation, walk right up to your house, steal your garbage, and walk away. They don't care. But this is all blueberries. And I know I've said this before, and people think of bears and they think they're these big, mean, dangerous wild animals, and they can be. That is very true. But they are absolutely tickled pink when they see blueberries. They love berries, and they will pick them off of a plant so gently they'll just walk up to and nip them right off, not even barely rustle the bush. They're very gentle. There's something moving around in here. There's a squirrel or something right here. I think I just heard a deer snort down this way. So here we go. I don't know if that's going to come through. Maybe I'll move up the trail a little bit. But just give you an idea of how close to civilization we are. We're kind of coming up alongside that industrial park. Let's see if I can get it in the... Can I see it in the reflection of the camera there? There, I think you can see it. Big tower. Big water tower there. Yes, that's an industrial park. Coyotes. Right out here, probably watching people come out of work. Laughing at them. Suckers, you work. Be nice to be a coyote, wouldn't it? I think that bird was real happy that I stopped right there. Not sure if that was. I know he didn't come out on camera, he was backlit. You probably hear him. So I can see water down here off to my right. So that's the reservoir. Right up there, there's a split in the trail. That's not on the map, but it looks like it's just looks like it might connect over to that After 5 trail or right down to where the After 5 trail comes in. Like maybe it bypasses the reservoir. So seems like a weird thing to bypass, at least for me. If I see water and I can get to it, I like to go to it. Maybe it's more direct. I don't know, but since it's not on the map, I'm not going to take it. Spiderwebs. Made it down here to the reservoir and came across a sign. O'Connor Reservoir. This is Nature Conservancy, has a lot of properties around here, so a lot of times I go to these preserves and I just assume it's the Nature Conservancy, and it's not always. But they do a fairly good job. So there is a bike symbol on this. Alright, if you're gonna mountain bike this, just be prepared for a lot of blueberry shrub stumps. Makes it kind of difficult. It's hard to walk some of these places. The Nature Conservancy does a really good job on these properties. For the most part, they keep them clean. And as I say that, I come up to a spot where somebody's obviously had a fire, left some garbage. You find that pretty much everywhere, unfortunately. I know you want to see this reservoir. I'm holding out. I'm being mean. Oh, it's nice. This is nice. Okay, end of the video. See you later. I'm not that mean. So this is the O'Connor Reservoir. And there's that tower. The ever-present tower. But the dam's that way. We'll go take a walk down as close as I can get. It looks like the trail goes that way. And you can tell we've had some water. If I can get around that, no problem. Let's go see what's down here. There's clearly game trail goes right into the water. And actually, if you look across, directly across, there is, looks like a beaver den over there. Been hanging out here at the reservoir for a good 45 minutes, probably almost an hour. Just sitting here, just enjoying it. Some people here walking their dog and just heading around this side of the reservoir, and got this cool little rock formation here. Now, this is cool. And this is nice back here. You can tell there's a lot of foot traffic that comes back. And we are pretty close to civilization, so that's understandable. But aside from that spot there where there was the milk jug and looked like somebody had a fire recently, it's very clean. Oh wow. Is it spider web? Here's a, I can't tell if this is like a little island out there, or if this beaver has just gotten so much stuff chopped up. Let's go see. Made it to the inlet to the reservoir. So the reservoir's back over there. And I think this is where I'm going to turn around. This continues, just winds back up into the hill and runs back up to that waterfall trail, which is a pretty big loop. It's like 5:30 now, 20 after 5. So I'm going to head back. It's going to take me probably an hour to get back to the car. Beautiful spot though. Oh, wow. A lot of toads and frogs. They've all been too quick for me to capture. Couldn't tell if that was a toad or a frog. It was too quick, but he was big. But yeah, this is a beautiful little spot. And I've heard people talk about this before. This is the first time I've made it back here. A beautiful spot. I mean, the reservoir is not huge, but it doesn't need to be beautiful, right? And there's that tower, but it's not so bad. It's not so ugly. Got an itch. So I'm gonna head back past the reservoir, and I'm not gonna film on the way back. Filming with the phone, just for some reason, is killing the battery. The past couple times I've been out, I got everything shut off. Got it in airplane mode, do not disturb, battery save mode, and it's still went down to like 17% battery, and I was fully charged when I got here. So I don't know if it's because I'm running a test version of Android on here or what's going on, but the battery life has not been good when I'm filming. I even dropped down to 1080. That's how this trail is, just kind of big pools. Dropped down to 1080 instead of 4K. See if that helped, but it hasn't really made a difference. I do tend to keep the screen brightness up though. So that might be it. I've turned it way down. Especially when I'm filming myself, I don't need to see the screen. It's behind the phone, so I can't really see it anyway. That's going to do it for the O'Connell Reservoir. Hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. This is nice. I needed this after a rainy week. It's nice to get out on a nice sunny day. I'm going to leave you with one last tip if I haven't mentioned this in other videos. So I've already come across this, but if you come across this, but you're out hiking, especially in the summer, and you say you got a rock here and it's kind of in the sun, you come up to a spot like this, never just step across it. You always want to look on the other side, and if there's space under it, you kind of want to look under it too. But you always want to look over, because that's one of the main times people get bit by snakes. You step over a log, snake doesn't hear you coming, doesn't feel the vibrations to the ground, doesn't know you're coming, and all of a sudden the foot drops down in front of them and they bite. So if you look over first, make sure there's no snakes there, kind of saves you from the chance of getting bit by a snake. We don't have a lot of poisonous snakes in Pennsylvania, but we do have rattlesnakes, and copperheads aren't unheard of. So you always want to double check. That's just a little safety tip there. So if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, but tell me what you thought of the place. And if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. I mentioned that on the previous video about Instagram, and a bunch of people came over and started following me and didn't even realize I had an Instagram. It's usually in my description. I don't really talk about it much, but I usually do. I try to put up like one photo a day usually. Sometimes more if I'm somewhere where it's got a lot of cool stuff. I'll put up a few, but I'll usually stockpile them on the weekend and then release them throughout the week on a slow trickle. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. I got some interesting photos. I'm not a professional photographer by any stretch of imagination, and I almost always use my phone for photos, so they are what they are, but I do like to put them up there. So if you're interested, the link is down in the description. Or if you're on Instagram, just look up Kurt Zitzelman and you'll find me. I'm there. It's got my big dumb face logo. So I'm gonna leave the reservoir now, head back to the car before my phone dies. And I will see you in the next.